paper argues that even though second-order optimization ideas have long been known to improve training speed and stability, deep learning still mostly uses first-order methods like SVHN and ADAM because true curvature information is too expensive at scale. Exact Hessians are infeasible for large models, and many almost second-order methods either blow up memory, slow training enough to lose to ADAM, or become fragile to hyperparameter choices. The author introduces a new optimizer called Atlas that tries to capture the benefits of curvature without paying the usual costs. Atlas does this with three practical pieces working together: a low-rank curvature sketch based on Hutch to find useful curvature directions without storing huge matrices, a trust radius clamp that automatically prevents overly large updates when the local approximation is unreliable, and a safe step control mechanism that can roll back rare catastrophic steps that would otherwise cause big loss spikes. The headline claim is that Atlas delivers second-order quality at first-order cost, improving both stability and final generalization, while staying lightweight enough to be a drop-in optimizer. The related work section sets up why Atlas is needed by reviewing the landscape of optimizers and their trade-offs. Momentum SVD is still favored for generalization and simplicity, but its lack of curvature awareness means people rely heavily on learning rate schedules and can still hit unstable dynamics like sudden loss spikes. Classic second-order methods and natural gradient ideas are powerful but rarely practical for modern networks. So many approximations have appeared: structured curvature approximations like K-Facet and shampoo, diagonal approximations like adhesion, and Hessian-free approaches that use Hessian vector products. Separately, adaptive first-order methods like ADIGRAD, RMSPRO-P, ADAM, and many variants improve early training, but often lag behind. Momentum is steady at convergence, while newer trends like sign-based updates reduce memory traffic, but can have their own limitations. The paper also notes a family of hybrid schedules that switch or blend optimizers across phases, and a family of stability tools like trust regions and gradient clipping that keep updates from going out of control. Atlas is presented as a synthesis. It adds a cheap curvature signal using Hutch-style sketching, adds trust style control to prevent runaway updates, and adds an explicit rollback rule to catch the rare but damaging catastrophic step. Atlas itself is described as a budget-conscious optimizer built around three principles: get a second order, signal cheaply, protect training from instability, and avoid a workflow that depends on delicate tuning. The curvature signal comes from an occasional probe using Hutch-style sketching, intended to estimate curvature information efficiently and keep memory use manageable. That curvature estimate is then turned into a trust radius clamp that limits how large a parameter update can be, so steps stay within a safe region automatically rather than relying on hand-tuned learning rate tricks. On top of this, safe step control monitors the outcome of an update, and if the loss jumps too much, it reverts the step without otherwise disturbing the optimizer's internal state. Atlas also wraps these protections around a simple phase training recipe that uses a sequence of optimizer behaviors over the run, intended to give fast early progress, stable mid-training, and strong final convergence, all under one smooth learning rate envelope. The intent is that you can use Atlas as a drop-in method that behaves sensibly without needing to search through many schedules and knobs. The theoretical motivation is presented in a practical way. Atlas is designed so its phases resemble well-understood optimizers, while the trust radius clamp keeps the step size bounded in a way that limits the damage from local curvature mismatch. The message is not, we reinvent convergence theory, but rather, we inherit familiar stability behavior while adding an explicit safety system. The trust clamp is framed as bounding step norms, so the quadratic approximation does not lead the optimizer into unstable, rigorous and safe step control, acts like a lightweight backtracking line search safeguard adapted to stochastic training. The overall framing is that this combination should reduce loss spikes and improve reliability while keeping computational overhead low. Because the curvature probe is infrequent and uses efficient Hessian vector product machinery rather than full Hessian construction, the experiments are set up to emphasize optimizer behavior rather than heavy regularization tricks. 5 standard image classification benchmarks are used, and the models are small CNN variants under a tight training budget of 20 epochs. Data augmentation is intentionally minimal, dropout is disabled, and mixed precision is mostly off to keep comparisons clean and reproducible. Multiple compact architectures are used to show the optimizer is not tailored to a single model type, and the protocol fixes batch size, loss, and logging procedures across runs. Atlas is compared against a broad set of baselines, including momentum SGD variants and popular adaptive methods. The key fairness claim is that they do not do extensive per-model hyperparameter tuning for baselines, aiming to test drop-in behavior under a common learning rate scale and schedule, while Atlas uses its internal trust and safety controls as part of its design rather than as extra external tricks. The results section claims Atlas wins across the board under the fixed 20-epoch budget. It achieves the highest best test accuracy on each of the 5 datasets and leads on a macro average leaderboard as well. Beyond accuracy, the paper emphasizes stability. Safe step control supposedly reduces catastrophic update events dramatically compared to SVHN and Atom-style baselines, and the loss curves are described as spike-free. Resource-wise, Atlas is portrayed as sitting on an accuracy time trade-off frontier. It may take extra wall clock time due to curvature modules, but the overhead is described as modest and shrinking with larger batch sizes, while memory overhead remains comparable to other methods in typical cases. The conclusion is that Atlas is a practical optimizer you can use as a default. It aims to combine fast early learning, strong final accuracy, and protection against loss explosions without demanding extensive tuning or architectural changes, making it especially appealing for resource-constrained or stability-sensitive training runs.